No, it's not. That's the answer to the question in the title to this video. Violence is not okay. Violence is not the answer. Violence is never okay, and violence is never the answer. Especially in this situation, despite the fact that Will Smith was obviously reacting on behalf of his wife, who appeared offended by the joke. But you'll notice that when the joke was initially said, Will Smith himself found it to be funny, and the whole thing was meant to be funny. It's obviously meant to be a comical stand-up for presenting all of the awards. And in fact, you can see that Will Smith premeditated, planned in his mind that he was going to walk up and hit Chris Rock. Indeed, it took him some time to get to him. It wasn't a spur of the moment, on the spot. It took a good few seconds for him to get up on the stage. All the while, he might have changed his mind and not gone ahead with it. He might have been in an angry mindset all the while he was walking up to Chris Rock, but being in an angry mindset does not excuse aggression nor violence. And it's a position that I'm pleased now to say that Will Smith has put out on Instagram, to say as follows: "Violence in all its forms is poisonous and destructive. My behaviour at last night's Academy Awards was unacceptable and inexcusable. Jokes at my expense are part of the job, but a joke about Jada's medical condition was too much for me to bear, and I reacted emotionally. I would like to publicly apologise to you, Chris. I was out of line and I was wrong. I am embarrassed and my actions were not indicative of the man I want to be. There is no place for violence in a world of love and kindness." Now, it's also said in the news that Chris Rock is not pressing charges. Now, this is a term often misunderstood both in the States and in the United Kingdom. An individual doesn't press charges, as that saying goes. The decision to prosecute lies with the prosecutor. Of course, an individual can bring their own case, whether it be in the civil courts or the criminal courts. In the United States, I believe it's a few states that allow private prosecutions, and in England and Wales we also allow private prosecutions, although I would strongly advise taking advice before you do so, because getting it wrong can be significantly costly. But broadly speaking, an individual does not press charges. An individual will either support a prosecution, i.e. give evidence, or not. But in a case such as this, it was broadcast live to the entire world, so it's not as though any prosecution would rest firmly in the lap of a witness without the benefit of the assault being recorded. And of course, it is open to Chris Rock to file a civil claim against Will Smith for damages, because in most criminal cases there is usually a parallel civil case for damages. Think criminal damage and the cost of that damage that might be sued for in the civil courts. Is there any mitigation in what Will Smith did? Well, yes, in a sense, in that, as he says, he was reacting emotionally to a joke made against his wife, who really hadn't ought to be the subject of such jokes, especially about a medical condition. But at the same time, this goes hand in hand with comedy and with free speech, and either way doesn't excuse an assault. And as I mentioned earlier, Will Smith had a good deal of time to think about what he was about to do, which he was clearly about to do as he was walking up to Chris Rock in the first place, during which he would have had time to think about what he was going to do and time to change his mind. So it's likely that any sort of mitigation, such as why he was doing it, would fall away, because he did have the time to think about it beforehand. But clearly some of you might disagree with that and think that it was perfectly justified, and that's fine too, because in a democratic society we should consider all views. So I would be interested to read your views and your comments in the comment section below. So please do let me know what you think. Remember to like and subscribe, and as always, thank you for watching.